Hello, I'm back again to talk more about what's going on in the world now. Most importantly, this worldwide idiocy, stupidity that we're still living in. And I'm just going to talk as much as I can about my thoughts. Most of my thoughts are basically based on facts that people just don't want to look up themselves. They just want to look at mainstream media and believe all of the absurdity, the idiocy, the lunacy that they see. Things that cannot be possibly true, completely implausible, and they're believing all of it. And we're stuck, surrounded by this insanity, this lunacy. The people of us who are critical thinkers, who research things, who use logic and basic common sense to see what's truth and not truth. And we know none of what's going on in the world over the last 12 months is truthful. And I know I run the risk of being banned and censored because that's that evil concept of censorship and banning people for speaking the truth is going on all over the world right now on this platform, other platforms, all mainstream news media. So look me up on other sources that don't do this cruel, inhumane censorship, and just in case this one gets deleted or removed. Okay, but you know, people are taking more and more tests everywhere we go. Tests. Let's take these tests, and as people take these ridiculous tests that don't prove anything, don't show anything for something that does not exist. You're taking tests for something that does not exist, never been proven to exist, never will be proven to exist. You know? But every time you take these tests, the people who are behind these tests and who are behind this whole sham pandemic are making more money, millions and billions of dollars off of this. All over the world, people are buying these test kits, taking these tests, and they're just laughing at it. People that are behind this and they know who they are. Those of you who have done research, are critical thinkers, and are intelligent know who's behind all this that's going on in the world right now. They're laughing at us. They're rubbing their hands together and laughing at us. They're like, look at these idiots. And they don't have to go through any of the restrictions because they're billionaires. They have all the money they need, private jets. They don't have to wear the stupid, dehumanizing psychological mask that they know that they want people to wear just because it dehumanizes you. It takes away all of your individuality. Let's talk about like agnosticism, for example. If you're agnostic, it means related to religion. You don't believe any of it, but you will remain open-minded to it if someone can provide you proof, which anybody with basic logic and common sense knows that will never happen. A man floating around in the sky with magical powers. But with this stuff that's going on right now in the world, people don't even want to look for truth. They automatically believe all the nonsense that they're seeing on TV and in the news. It's completely implausible, impossible, and they believe all of it. You know, you cough now. Anybody coughs now. The first thing they say is because they've been psychologically conditioned over the last 12 months to believe this stuff is true, that they automatically have this CVD-19 nonsense just for coughing. Historically, and this is pretty much every medical website or journal says that the average person has three to four common colds a year. The flu maybe once a year or not even once a year. But now, just the slightest sniffle, people are already screaming, I have this new novel disease, or so and so has it. When all you had is the common cold. And they start inventing symptoms that they know are not true just because they've heard about it on TV. They've heard people say that nonsense on TV, so they believe it. I mean, it's literally all other diseases and illnesses or, that have been around on Earth for millions of years are gone now. They've been completely eradicated. Think about that. When was the last time in the last 12 months that you saw on the news, mainstream news, them talked about a person having some other illnesses, the common cold or the common flu? It's all gone now. Just magically disappeared. And people still believe the nonsense. People, friends, family saying, "What's wrong with you? How can you say something like this? How can you talk like this when thousands of people have died?" And I look at them or I respond to them and I say, "Who told you thousands of people have died? Who told you that?" Number one. And number two, why do you believe it? Thousands of unknown, nameless people, and they're telling you that, and you believe it. You haven't seen any evidence. You haven't seen anyone sick. No one has died. No one your friends know has died. No one your family knows has died. None of their friends have died. None of their families have died. And it goes on and on and on. You can spread it all out. Nobody knows anyone who's sick. No one has died or anything, but we all are believing this BS, this complete hogwash nonsense. I mean, it is absolutely astonishing that the human mind has developed to this point, which is at its lowest level in world history. I can't think of, and I've studied history, but I don't know everything. No one knows all of history, but I have never seen this level of low intelligence around the entire world, where the entire world in unison is basically dumb. And none of these people will talk. None of the people that are behind this will not talk because they know it's all a sham. If they do go on TV, they go on their strategic control TV and talk. And when they do talk, they have smirks on their faces. You can see that they know this is all a lie. And yet people still believe the nonsense. I always talk to people. If you want to have a discussion with me about this, you don't agree with me, well, we will have a discussion. But you cannot just come into the discussion talking about the same regurgitated nonsense that you've seen on mainstream media over the last 12 months. It's going to be an open-ended discussion, and you have to be willing to listen to something that has not been said at all. The idiocy of, for example, the PCR tests. The guy who invented that, Kerry Mullins, and nowhere on TV or in the news talks about it. In his actual statement before he passed away, he said that the PCR test in no way isolates or tests for any specific virus. It never has been proven to do that. Those were his own words. So people all over the world are taking a test that tests for nothing. You're wasting your money. They're requiring it for you to do this, to work, to travel. You're required to take this test, and you're required to pay money, a lot of money for this test, for nothing that shows absolutely nothing. So whatever they're saying, they just make it up. Oh, you're sick, you're not sick, you're sick, you're not sick, just to pad or manipulate their data so that they can say something on the news that most people will believe, even though it's a big nothing. If you know anybody out there, you can leave in the comments. If you know a bigger con job in world history, let me know. I mean, there have been con jobs, con men, people who have scammed or lied on a big scale throughout history. But where has it where the entire world believed it and reacted to it? Where? Show that to me. That's the definitions of intelligence. Okay? Intelligence is the ability to accept reasonable data, reason or facts, and adjust your behavior. And people have adjusted their behavior based on no facts. So that means low intelligence. And all of this these restrictions and these rules that they're coming up with and they're telling you to do, especially in England with that guy that leads that country, and now in America they're starting to implement this agenda with force now. All of it and these restrictions and the dehumanizing psychological face mask wearing that they want you to do, and they're showing on every platform, every news, print media, TV media, people in these masks on. It's all part of a psychology to get you to become accustomed to a socialist new style of world government that is controlled by the people who created this nonsense, these billionaires. They want you to become accustomed to living like this in fear and being controlled and believing that you must depend on them to help you at all times. It's basically tyranny. They're being tyrannical to you and to the world with smiles on their faces, telling you that they're protecting you from a virus. Okay? It's all under disguise. And you are slowly becoming or starting to think that this is the new normal. Now, I make these videos for one, to let people know what's really going on, but also I want to go on the right side of history. I want to go on the right side of history. I want people to remember me as the guy who knew what was going on, who wasn't fooled by this nonsense. So that's one of my main purposes. I want to go on the right side of history. So that's why I'm making these videos, and please share them. Let people know what's really going on. We know celebrities are forced to lie about this. I mean, they're being forced into it. Anytime a celebrity dies now, first thing they say is he has this novel disease, and people all over the world are believing it. I mean, you can't make up this BS, which all of this is just made up, strategically made up to show on TV 24 hours a day, every day, all year round, over and over. Basically, the philosophy is if you tell a lie over and over again enough, people will eventually believe it. Weak-minded people will believe it. I mean, logic and common sense should tell you, wait a minute, that can't be true. That many people have died, and I haven't seen anyone sick, or those statistics. Really, you expect me to believe that? You expect me to believe people all over the earth at the same time have the same problem with a new disease that no one's ever heard of? You expect me to believe it came from deep in the middle of China? Give me a break, man. People, just your logic and common sense. Even that whole China thing, Wuhan, that was written about in a book, like in 1981. I forget the name of it. Look it up. That same story was written in a book. I mean, please, people, just do your own. Don't be afraid to be smart and intelligent. Do your own research. Our friends and our families have given up on life now. They're trapped in their homes, not going outside. Everything's closed down, believing in nonsense. They're being hypnotized by complete nonsense. Try to wake them up, and it's all because of some con men. Now, I'm disappointed in my friends and family for believing this, and it hurts me. I don't like to argue with them, but I'm angry and furious at these people that have done this. This is almost like some type of satanic ritual that they're having fun doing. That movie, The Hunger Games, I never saw all of it, but I know about it. That's basically what they're doing with the world right now. It's a joke, and I'm furious because we're being forced to suffer because of their joke, and I don't know how they live with themselves. All of them, I don't know how they live with themselves, every day. The anger that I have, I can understand people being fooled for one day or for 1 month or a week, but it's been 12 months now. There's no way you should still be fooled by this. How is it possible not to use your brain for a full year? I can't imagine myself being so clueless and being fooled by this. I can't even imagine that. And you shouldn't be fooled by this too. We're talking about, this censorship. That's dictator. That's what dictators do, and we're accepting a level of this dictator of censorship that has never been done in most of our lives. and we're accepting that as normal. We can't say the truth. We can't say what we want to say. You know, what kind of, do you want to live in that world? I'm not trying to incite war. I'm not doing any type of racial hatred. I'm just trying to tell the truth and tell what people are not being told. And that gets me censored or the risk of being banned. I have to mince my words. If you notice I'm mincing my words. You know, I can't say exactly what I want to say because I'm worried about being banned or this being deleted. And that's sick. That is a sad world that we're living in. You know, people have been conditioned to accept one side, and if you're not on that side or the mainstream narrative, then that means you're like almost like the enemy now. They think we are the same people, and the same people are surrounded by the insane, and they're looking at us and laughing at us now. You know, this world is wrong now. What is wrong with humans now? And this is insanity. You know, and again, we are surrounded and being controlled by complete insanity now. That's not the world that I want to live in. You know, and again, why would I say this if I wanted to hurt? I have nothing to benefit. I'm not getting any money from this. There's no benefit. So why would I just make something up? I just want to live a normal life that's not based on a lie. It's just not based on what some people have designed or created, some billionaires, and they're having fun seeing us live like hell on earth for their financial or enjoyments. So I'm going to stop it right now, and wake up, please. Share this video. Start talking to more and more people. We need to wake up. Don't let this be the way of the world now. And don't let you think that you have to live like this, you have to suffer like this, because this is not, none of it is true. Not a single bit of it. Thanks.